Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the Positively Awesome Wrestling Podcast. Oh my goodness, I feel like it's been forever. And it's only been since what, April? March? One of those, the end of March, beginning of April. I don't know. But it's been way too long. Y'all already know who it is. King, I'm joined by Tidy to the right of me and Albert below us. There's no order. There's no order here, though. We're all right here in front of your faces, and that's all that matters. So let's get it out the way real quick. Tidy, how the heck have you been enjoying wrestling since the last time we had this get together going on?
I've been enjoying it, man, but I've been like transitioning with jobs and new jobs and different schedules, and so I couldn't watch any of them live. So it's like Hulu the next day if I have any energy. So I would eventually catch up by Sunday, but there's always like eight people that I love watching. So I've been really enjoying it. I feel bad for Drew though, man. He's gonna have to change his name to Screwed McIntyre. So
He quit. What a quitter. Albert, same question. How the heck have you been, and how have you been enjoying wrestling over the last 2.5 months? I think it's been.
Things have been good, and wrestling has been good, man. Like, it's crazy. WWE is on fire lately. Everything that they're doing seems to be interesting to me. You know, even like the little things that, don't seem to like, they don't, that aren't that big of a deal. I'm liking it. They're really just doing everything. They're firing on all cylinders here. And I think that we're finally at a place in pro wrestling where if you want really good stories told and you want good matches, WWE is providing it for you. If you want really good wrestling and high intensity, high energetic, crazy frenetic pro wrestling, AEW's been off the charts with that. This is Forbidden Door season. So, we're getting to the point where we're getting a lot of those guys coming over to, have some of these big dream matches. So pro wrestling fans right now are eating.
And just to add to that, if you want a combination of both of those, TNA is where you need to go, because TNA does a really good job of combining both of them. I will defend AEW here just a bit, because in case anybody hasn't noticed from the channel, if you haven't seen, I've been doing a Dynamite review because I do miss doing reviews. I think they're fun, and I like to try and help people kind of understand why something was good if they thought it was bad, or I just love doing it. I love breaking stuff down, and I've been enjoying Dynamite the last 3 weeks. I've been saying it to everybody I talk to about it. I think it's the best it's been since the pandemic era, and there's never been an easier time to watch AEW than now, based on the way they present their show. They started including video packages for the people you don't know. They keep you up to date with storylines that are going. There's Nick will kill me if I don't say it the right way. Continuity going on with the show now, and it's night and day difference. I won't get into the viewership of it because I just don't care anymore. I'm just here to watch wrestling. I like it, and that's all that matters. So I did want to say that about AEW. And before we get into the bread and butter of why we're here, I do have to ask Albert, because I'm sure he's seen a bit of it. The Learning Tree, yay or nay?
You know me. I'm a sucker for anything Chris Jericho. I like it.
Thank you. I just want to break this down to you, Tidy, just so you know how brilliant this shit is. It reminds me of Jericho WCW days. And basically what he's done is the AEW fan base has turned on him completely. Like, they just get him off TV. So everything that they hate about WWE, he has now incorporated into his own character. He has crappy entrance music on purpose, and it starts off with the Learning Tree, just like they do Chelsea and all the other freaking people that he does that, and it's a horrible song. He says, "Hey guys, I just want you." This is how he talks. No joke. I just want you to know that I've been doing this for a very long time, and if you want to know how to do it right, I can tell you. And he'll be teaching you things that he knows nothing about, like how to grow corn and stuff like that. Big Cass is his right-hand man. He's Big Bill, and he's called the Redwood, and he talks the same way because he's trying to mimic Chris Jericho. And then they have the, a hitman, Brian Keith, who's amazing. I love him. And then he joined, but he's got an attitude problem. So they call him the Bad Apple. So it's the Learning Tree, the Redwood, and the Bad Apple. And it's amazing. If you have time just to watch the YouTube clips of Chris Jericho, that's all you have.
From Bounty Hunter to Bad Apple, it's perfect. I mean, it's so good. And here's the thing. This is one of those things where I'm going to say all the time when it comes to Chris Jericho, the man just knows how to reinvent himself, and he knows how to bring something new to his character every time. And even, the people who can sit there and say, I hate this, he can just turn around and go, of course you do. You're supposed to hate this.
Yeah.
This is exactly what you're supposed to do, what it's supposed to be. And the people who love this, he's like, he just gives a wink and a nod to, because it's like, oh, you get it. And that's
the fourth wall. That's the most brilliant part, is he'll say something and then he'll look into the camera and he'll go, and then he'll go right back to doing what he's doing. It's so good. I wanted to give it a nod. I wanted to get Albert's opinion, because I know he loves Jericho, but I know a lot of people are soured on Jericho these days. I wanted to get his opinion. Thank you. You, me, and Nick are on the same page. That's all I care about. Jericho's awesome. I can't believe I get to say that again in 2024. I like Jericho again. Cameron, what up, everyone? My favorite show. Hey, again, as always, the support is always appreciated, Cameron. I always appreciate you being here. Much love to you. Thank you for always tuning in when we're here.
No, missed you guys too.
It didn't quit. It's storyline, but no, I do not believe in Joe Hendry. I think the hype is getting to be too much. I'm sure we'll get to it though. We'll get to it though. Yes, I got the boys back for you tonight, Lewis. Everybody, thank Lewis because he messaged me personally and was like, "What's going on? Let me get on the horn with these guys." So I said, "Hey guys, this is what's happening. We got to make it happen." And then sure enough, it did. So thank Lewis, everybody. Lou's with it too. If Lou likes it, I'm Gucci, because he hates some things, and I'm like, Lou, just give it time. And then next thing you know, he's like, man, I love this. And I'm like, I knew you would, man. I knew you would. That's the point, Courtney. That's the point. Okay, but we'll get into the thick of why we're here, because it's going to be WWE heavy based, because WWE is literally clicking on every possible cylinder they possibly could right now. It's insane to me. I don't think there's been a time since I've been watching wrestling that we've had so many things that are good happening at once. You have I brought Chris Jericho again. He's just on my learning tree. It's amazing.
You know what? Let's just, for real quick, I just also want to point out, we haven't been on, I don't think, since Swerve's been champion. And I think that's something that
we haven't.
We have both mutually been pushing for, and AEW, gave it to us. And, shout out to Swerve, for the World Heavyweight Championship win, after, we've been the, two guys that have been really rallying for Swerve to be the guy. So
he's converted. He's converted. He's not going to be giving me shit no more for it. But in WWE currently, we have the CM Punk Drew McIntyre feud. They haven't even had a match yet, and it's the feud of the year. No questions about it. It's been amazing. It's kind of revitalized Drew McIntyre and allowed him to reach that level that he was at during the pandemic era. And the fans can now be there to appreciate it. It's been amazing. Damian Priest is world champion. I cannot tell you how happy I am about that. And I don't care what anyone says. He's been fantastic. Do you agree?
Oh, my God, 100%.
Best striker in the business, man.
Yes,
thank
you very much.
Priest.
I'll say he has the second best forearm, the best in the WWE. But when it comes to forearms, Takeshita, I fear for anybody that takes a forearm from that guy. It's unreal. So the Chad Gable, Sami Zayn, Alpha Academy story has been brilliant. And now the Wyatt Sixes is finally debuted. And they seem to be involved with the Chad Gable thing. So that's blossoming into something even bigger now. Real quick, did the Wyatt Six debut hit for you guys?
Yeah, it did for me. I mean, just seeing Howdy, kind of like he almost floated down for a second. When I saw that shit, I was sold. And then coming out, and it's Nikki Cross. I love Nikki Cross.
We'll get back to it and break it down a little bit more. I was just curious because there was a lot of hype behind it, and usually when there's a lot of hype behind something, it doesn't hit when it comes out. And to me, I was like, oh, okay, I liked it. What about you, Albert?
Hook, line, and sinker got me all the way.
Okay. I'll throw this in too. Again, it's another AEW thing. We won't talk about it, but I do want to say just all the great things in wrestling happen right now. The Toni Storm, Mariah May, Mina Shirakawa storyline.
Storm.
It is literally, you could tell me it's the best thing in wrestling right now, and I wouldn't argue with you. It's that damn good.
It's so good.
The Bloodline everyone's like, this is not that good. Be patient, everybody. It's not that. Be patient, everybody. And then Friday blew the doors off that thing. Bloodline is back, and I'm looking forward to that. It looks to be.
I can't wait till we break that whole thing down because that was just nuts.
Me, it's Paul Heyman. I love Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman is
some of the best work of his career.
And then let's not forget about the bread and butter, the storyline that somebody tried to give y'all the heads up on like almost a year ago, and it is the best thing in wrestling right now, in my opinion, and in the opinion of a lot of others, I would think. Dom and Liv, my God, how great has that been? And I do want to ask this to Albert real quick. No, wait. I'm gonna do the timeline, and then I'm gonna ask Albert this, because I broke this down and Liv got injured. I don't remember the date, but it was the last Monday Night Raw of June, I believe it was. The very next Sunday we had the show. I laid out the grand scheme of how you make Liv Morgan more appealing. You get Dom to the next level. You make Rhea the biggest baby face, and you put Dom and Liv together. All right, I painted that picture, and I gave you reasons as to why it would be working. Then Liv was gone for way longer than I thought she would be. She comes back. Unfortunately, Rhea's now injured. But it's Liv that injured her. So it's like, okay, that kind of works. And then Rhea, she's out. And then Liv is now going after Dom. Now, I don't think Albert was against the storyline, but he was a detractor of Liv Morgan. He says, I just don't know if I can believe her. So far, has she changed your opinion?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give her credit. I'm not 100% sold, but if it's got to be, if there's no shades of gray, there's got to be a clear yes or no. I'm leaning more yes than I am no.
Okay. Hey, that's all that matters.
Yep.
So she's been hitting him up on Instagram, on Twitter, and Dom is now starting to freaking like it and retweet it like don't do it, Dom. Don't fall for that shit. Finn has tried to get in and I do want to get opinions on that too, because Finn seems to be the one that's always kind of like, whoa. He took the key card. What was that about, Finn? What was that about, Finn? She got out of Finn's card during one Monday Night Raw. What was that about, Finn? Don't you ruin this for me. Don't you fucking ruin this for me, Finn. I
didn't see that part. I missed that.
Yeah. So it was the week before she got caught talking to JD McDonough in the backstage era.
Right.
Before the show started, and she got out of a car, and then like 10 seconds later, someone walked past, and then Finn got out of the car and walked a different way. So hopefully there was no Hawk Tua involved in that one, because don't ruin my storyline. But Liv is now champion, as she should, because she's here to take everything from Rhea Ripley.
You broke time, you dude.
I want to know interest levels on if this takes a right turn and they're literally just using Dom, and Finn is the mastermind behind all of this, and he's the one that's actually with Liv. Is that a hit or miss in your opinion? Albert, I'm going to go with you first because I know you love Finn and you've not been the biggest fan of Liv, so we're going to get your opinion on it first.
I think that, all right, so selfishly, I kind of want that to be the case because let's just be honest. Dom is, what is he, 25?
You'll come around, Lou.
What is Dom, 25, 26, right? That's it, right?
26,
perhaps.
He's 26. Okay, so he has, at least another 15 years of being, this upper, top tier, wrestler in the WWE. Finn is, 41 now? If he's going to go on one last big run, he's going to get a shot at Damian Priest. He's going to get a shot to take that championship away. He's going to get one last run with the world title. It's got to be now. So a part of me wants it to be Finn because at least that would make him this main event level player, being associated with somebody like Liv Morgan right now, where we've seen that Rhea Ripley has elevated that championship to being on par with the WWE championship, which is the women's version of the world title. And she's made it feel that way. And even since Liv Morgan's had it, it still carries that aura with it. So that elevates Finn and keeps him at that top tier part of the card. But let's be honest. The more interesting story is with Liv and Dom. The more interesting story is Rhea getting involved into all of this. The more interesting story is seeing where Dom, where Dom picks between the two. So if it's gonna be anybody, let it be Dom. You know.
Okay, real quick. Dom is 27. He just turned 27 last month, I think. Liv 30, Finn Balor 42.
42. So there you go.
Actually, a year older than Damian Priest, which I did not expect.
Yes, he is.
He looks incredible.
He does. He looks like he can go for another 10 years. But we've seen people that even in that shape, sometimes their body kind of just starts to break down just a little bit and stuff. And I'm just hoping that. Out of all this, out of the whole Judgment Day deal, if Finn doesn't become a world champion at one point, I'm going to be really upset.
So Finn is immortal. He doesn't have carbs. He doesn't have sugar. That it's like a joke in the locker room. That dude is a beast.
Man's a vampire.
He's got 10 more years in him.
You're probably right.
Yeah, he probably does. He could easily have a career the length of Chris Jericho's with the shape that he keeps himself in. He just has to change his style. And I think I was saying this to Albert. I think the man is one of the he's severely underrated. I know everyone thinks he's great, and that's fine. He does not do one thing wrong. Like he is as clean as it gets in the ring. He puts some oomph behind it. It's believable, and he's fantastic. Like it's not like he's just doing. He does some really awesome shit, and it's fantastic. The Judgment Day again, same thing with what we're talking about with Drew McIntyre and the CM Punk feuds. Kind of helped revitalize Drew and get him to where he's at. I think Judgment Day kind of breathed some air into Finn Balor.
I agree.
I was leaning towards him being with Liv up until he lost Monday. Because I feel like if he's with Liv, he has to have money in the bank. Because he's there to tear down Judgment Day from the inside out and side with Liv. The briefcase would be the last piece of that puzzle so that he could get Dom and Rhea doing their thing. Carlito's just being a fool somehow. That's cool. Like that wasn't cool, Carlito. That wasn't cool at all.
That was so funny though. Like that was great.
And I do want to give Carlito props because he's been absolutely hilarious in his role. And then JD could just side with them because he's Finn's little protege.
Right.
Exactly.
And then the last piece would be to take the title off of Damian Priest. So we could get no, we wouldn't because it would depend on when he cashed in. But Finn versus Gunther. Give it to me.
Yes, please.
Once he lost, unless there's like a second chance thing, which they tend to do, but that seemed like it was a Vince McMahon booking thing, not a Triple H thing. So I don't think we're gonna get that kind of second chance. I think Finn's just not involved now, and it's like, okay, I'm about 98% sure this is going with Liv and Dom. So, Tidy, what has been who's been the MVP of this so far? Would you give the credit to Liv Morgan?
Man, it's what I've been watching. It's like a 50-50. It's Dom and it's Liv, but it's the Judgment Day as well because whether Finn's taking that card, I missed the part with him and her coming out of the car, but I like the Judgment Day's interactions. I like how Damian's up there like, hey man, cut this shit out, and then Finn's kind of acting shady and weird. What's up with the card, Finn? I like it all works together, but if I was just to give two people credit, it's Dom and Liv. I think Liv is doing a good job at playing that part, like trying to pull Dom, and each week it's somehow suckering me in because like I wasn't the biggest Liv fan. I always liked Liv.
She was missing something.
It made it so interesting. The whole thing makes her so interesting.
Yes.
It makes Dom even more interesting. Now the world's really gonna hate him.
What?
No, this shit is firing. I'm really loving it. But if it was just Dom and her talking and you didn't have some weird interaction, because that's the piece of the puzzle. Like you said, Finn, what is everyone else doing about this? How's Damian going to react? And then you got Seth getting in Damian's face. But like, dude, they're all falling apart. It's on your watch.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
I like that they're not treating it like they're all stupid.
Yeah.
They clearly see things happening on TV. They clearly pay attention to social media, and they're incorporating that into TV. And man, that in itself is a breath of fresh air. Because I don't know how many times we're like, yo, how did you not see that happen last week on television, you idiot? Now it's like it's all there. And
yeah,
we know they've mentioned it a few times. Rhea, she's seeing this. What is she gonna do? Yeah. So
have you talked to mommy lately? They keep asking everybody that. It's like, dude,
it's like I ain't going anywhere near that.
And again, when I first brought this, when I concocted this whole little storyline and just gave like the bullet points to it. The reasons for it was, one, I think it helps Liv the most because the thing she's lacked is having anything to sink her teeth into. They gave her something to sink her teeth into. They've said, get rid of the PG shit and let her just go full blown. I wasn't expecting them to take it as far as they had.
Pat McAfee said he's straddling. She's
yeah.
straddling Dom.
I was like, okay, what is happening here?
You know what? Here's the thing. I think that at the end of the day, what we've never seen is the idea that Liv Morgan can tap into this part of her character. Because let's be honest, at first it was, okay, I'm the cool girl from Jersey. All right, whatever. That's who you were in NXT. She comes up with the Riot Squad, and I can believe that she was a brat. You know, she was a beautiful little girl, you know, running around in a complete brat, but she just never, like, it felt forced in the Riot Squad. When she came back after that, I just never believed in her because there was just never anything that they ever gave me to believe in her, except for the fact that she's improving in the ring and she's attractive. That's everything that they've given me on WWE television to say this is why you should like her. So now WWE said, you know what? Screw it. Let's let her just say, look, I get it. I'm a walking thirst trap. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to use that to get Dom. It's real. Because, you know, if I want to destroy, and it makes sense, if, you know, you see it all the time. It's every, like, movie about, like, you know, like a bunch of girls. They don't just try to get even with each other. They try to ruin each other. Yeah. It's not Liv's revenge tour isn't over because she has the belt. She still wants to take everything that she can from Rhea Ripley because Rhea took her half of her career, you know, like a portion of her career. It all makes sense, and she's got everything behind it to do it. And credit where it's due, where she's needed to make it work, she's done it, and she's done it well. Yeah, you know, I mean, so it's absolutely changed my perception of her, and I think this is exactly what we needed because we didn't need Liv putting on bangers every week to try to win the crowd over. They needed just something to buy into her, and sometimes it's not about what's going on in the ring. It's the same thing. Rhea had it too. Everybody needed like that, just that thing to grasp with Rhea, and they got it. As soon as she was with Dom, we got it. That heel turn and her in the Judgment Day made us had something to grasp on with Rhea. They've given that to Liv Morgan now. Credit where it's due.
Liv's going to be up here by the time this is getting over. By that time this is peaking, this story, she's going to be way up here, and people all will change their mind about her. I believe she can do it. She's got a lot of people backing her. I mean, not to mention a lot of the superstars that just love her. They see things about her that we don't get to see. So
she's like an awesome human being.
She's obviously got something great, and she's now getting, like you said, sink her teeth into it.
I want to give her all the flowers here because, in my opinion, I've always just been like, she's good. I think she'd be good for a mid-card title if they ever got one. But then I started thinking about it before I came up with the whole idea. I was like, when has she ever really been given the chance to like really go with something? They've always just kind of like let her just like she's busting her butt. She's the most, and she did. She improved in the ring, night and day. We give the props to Tiffany Stratton for doing it. We give the props to Julia Hart for doing it. Give the props to Liv. She did it. And now for the first time, again, they're giving her something to stick her teeth into, and she's killing it to the point where I now buy. I don't care if she's only had like one match since she won the top. I don't care.
Yeah.
I buy her as a top act now, which means if you put her in a main event, I believe it because she's a main attraction to me. She's part of a huge storyline, and she is to me, she's the MVP of it so far. And that's right. The Dom lover right here is saying, I think Liv Morgan is doing a better job than Dom is in this story. She's killing. And right here, this is the part we're all waiting for. Because when Rhea comes back, who doesn't want to see Rhea Ripley hit Dominic Mysterio with a riptide?
Like,
who doesn't want to see that?
I'm expecting like her to come back as She-Hulk and just grab Liv at this, and just tear her in half at this point. Like, yeah, like like and Liv is doing a great job in playing this character so well, where she has a hardcore fan base that's going to side with her no matter what. So they're going to be okay with her coming back and wanting to beat the crap out of Rhea because they love Liv. and Rhea's got the exact same, force on the opposite side, and it's great. So, it's going to be a really, really interesting, that first promo battle with the two of them, in front of an audience together is going to be, I mean, the reactions to that are just going to be absolutely unreal. I can't wait. And I've never said that about anything that Liv Morgan's been in, but I can't wait.
I think it'll be better than that because the Judgment Day could be in shambles. It could be split in half for all we know, and Rhea's going to have to also deal with that shit of like, I told you to keep everybody.
This is your fault, Damian Priest.
She told Damian to keep. What did she say? Keep everything on top or keep everything. I don't know. Anyway,
yes,
obviously it's not going to happen when she gets back.
Damian Priest is going to be 100% blamed by Rhea Ripley here, and that's a whole other storyline to look into.
Yeah, it's always been who's the leader of those two, and now she's going to come back and put him in his place.
Very clear the whole time. This whole thing makes it very clear the whole time, and it makes Rhea look even more badass. Because the whole time Rhea was in charge, nothing happened. The second Rhea's gone, shit just went everywhere sideways, and now it's all gone. And then when she hits Dom with that riptide, it's going to be like she's the biggest. She's going to be on Cody's level of a babyface. I don't care.
Oh my god, yeah,
she will be. And since I'm taking all the credit in the world for it. I don't give a shit. You can call me delusional, people. I really don't care because I said this shit before that I know they hadn't even thought of this
a year ago.
So the way I'm getting the whole thing, the way I'm getting the full turn from Dom, he has to be a special guest referee. I'm tired of seeing the Dom on a freaking ladder. Stop. That's silly nonsense. Y'all want to have your fun? Have your fun. Let's be serious for a minute here, buddy. Dom is the special guest referee. And then Liv, she's coercing them, and that's why Rhea keeps getting there. And then at the end, Dom pulls Rhea off. And then Liv gets her thing. Dom fast count that shit. That way it protects Rhea. She didn't technically lose to Liv. She kind of got screwed. And then go off to the races. And if I don't see a Dom and Rhea match, shame on you, WWE. I don't want to hear. There's no reason not to. We got Rhea versus Akira Tozawa. We can do Rhea versus Dominic Mysterio and make money.
I think the money is, and I know you said you don't like the hokey thing, but let's make it as hokey as possible for one reason. You do the final match, Liv versus Rhea, Dominic Mysterio in a shark cage above the ring.
That got WCW shut down. Come on.
But that's so he can't interfere. But the thing is that he needs to stay there because if Rhea wins, she gets 5 minutes in the ring with Dom after the match. So that now brings Dom. He's got to come down in that cage. He's got to get put into that ring, and then Rhea can beat the piss out of him. And it protects Dom because he doesn't ever have to lose to Rhea. Rhea just beats him up for 5 minutes, and then he runs away.
I won't say improve it. I'll just play on your idea a little bit, and then we'll move to the next topic here. If Rhea beats Liv, she gets 5 minutes with Dom in the ring. But instead of it being in the shark cage, Dom is handcuffed because that goes hand in hand with his whole convict thing.
Okay, that works right.
Piss out of him, and there we go. There you go. That's all onto it.
I like shark cages. I think it's fun.
Very Australian. Shark cages, very Australian. What up, babe? Thanks for tuning in, babe, as always. But yeah, there you go. I'm just excited to see where it goes because I never even thought of including the Judgment Day thing because, again, it was a 5 minute, like, oh, this would be a really cool idea. And then the Judgment Day stuff has been fantastic added into it.
Yeah.
It's kept me on my toes because, again, when I was like, Finn? Is Finn going to take his – I was about to be mad at Finn, and then it didn't might still happen, though. Might still happen. I don't know.
You know what? And
that's the twist.
Right, and you got to give them credit too. They built Priest up to be a really good champion. That promo battle with Seth Rollins on Monday, like they're pushing Priest to be this giant babyface, in a little bit again because him walking out there and having the balls to challenge Seth Rollins to have his championship defended at Money in the Bank. I mean, that's not something you see a heel do too often. No. But I like that Priest says, you know what? Screw it. I don't care. I know I got lucky and beat Drew, but I still won. It is what it is. I'm going to prove myself. I'm going to beat you because you were the one I wanted to beat in the first place. Loved it.
No foolishness involved here, Lewis. It's all awesome. You're going to enjoy it, and you know damn well that's the truth. I'll say this about Damian Priest. His entrance, when he comes out and the fire is all blurry behind him and he comes out and he raises, that's sick as shit. That's my world champion. I get mad when I see people talking shit.
Yes.
That's how much I'm invested in Damian Priest as world champion right now.
I agree.
He didn't get lucky against Drew. Drew screwed himself. And we'll get to that now. What a transition, Jimmy. We'll go to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre because, again, it's the feud of the year. And my God, CM Punk is like there like once every month. But Drew does his thing, and he's been – it reminds me of Kevin Owens and Stone Cold to an extent because Drew has carried a lot of it.
Yeah.
But then when CM Punk shows up, it just puts it on a whole other atmosphere. Side note real quick before we get even further into it. Damian Priest went toe-to-toe with Drew McIntyre in a promo battle and buried his ass. That's why he's my world champion. But now we go back to CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. On a scale, because I know Tidy, he loves some Drew McIntyre. On a scale of 1 to 10, how have you been enjoying the Drew McIntyre CM Punk feud?
Well, since it started way back when, it's been the best thing on wrestling almost. I mean, honestly, it's like if that wasn't there, man, Clash would have been hard to watch. But I'll be watching Clash for Piper versus Bayley. I would still, there'd be plenty of reasons to watch it, but man, that was everything. That was the PLE. Just watching Drew hyped up to win and then get over by CM Punk. I was pissed. I was pissed. I mean, like, not pissed at Punk. I'm just pissed at the fact that it hyped me up to where I wanted to see it and see it at the crowd in Scotland. So hats off to WWE for really, really baiting me in there.
And I was fully convinced Drew was going to win. CM Punk was going to help him win on accident. And then Drew was going to do and go through the crowd. Because they've done a lot of these callbacks to storylines that were really awesome the first time we did it. And then they just reuse them and put a little twist on them and make them better. And they really have that Chicago Money in the Bank 2011 CM Punk vibe going into this. And I'm like, okay, I'm with it because that's just really cool. I like callbacks. And then they switched it on us. And I was like, you sons of bitches did it. You got me. And it was awesome. It was awesome. And Drew is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Would have never guessed it. He's phenomenal at this shit. So
Drew's the best.
Right there. Pop. Like when he slid in and they had the camera angle, beautiful camera angle.
Beautiful.
Everyone's like, I didn't know it was him. I knew it was him because I saw the slick back hair. But I was like, that's a great shot. Had they gave him some just straight black shoes, it might have convinced me a little bit more that it wasn't him until we saw him. But the red Nikes kind of did give it away as well. I know everybody's not gonna be that in depth with what's happening with CM Punk. I'm not gonna apologize for it.
I wasn't even paying attention to who the referee was because to me it was inconsequential. Here comes a referee. You know what I mean? So I wasn't even paying attention to the fact that it could have even been anybody else but a normal referee that was just coming out to count the fall. So for me, I was like, okay, here we go. Drew's going to win the title. This is going to, or maybe Priest kicks out, and we get a big ending here. But like, I was ready. I was like, this is it. And when they pulled that camera back, I went, oh, I cursed out loud. My girlfriend walked into the room. She goes, what just happened? And I went, just watch. And she went, as soon as Punk kicks him in the balls, she went, aren't they in Scotland? And I went, yeah, they are. She goes, oh my God, everybody's going to be so mad. And then
they were hugging up on him, going like, CM Punk. That's where I kind of feel a little bit bad for Drew. I was like, come on, y'all. That's your guy. But real quick, hey, they did that to him at home twice now.
Well, the last one was at least in Wales. This was literally in front of his hometown crowd. Like, damn, dude.
Solo got him. He thumbed him hard, bro. And then, yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. It's fantastic.
Made his ass quit, man.
And here's another reason I don't feel bad for Drew. It was Drew's fault. And don't tell me it wasn't. Anybody, you can't tell me. And I mentioned this before, on the little Twitter machine, whatever. But Drew McIntyre is the one that took that referee out. It was him. He's the one that threw Damian into the referee. And when CM Punk came down, it's not like CM Punk could have counted 3 and he would have been awarded the championship. CM Punk's not a referee. If we're being realistic here, he was out there to troll him. And at no point did CM Punk try to attack him. He was just like, haha, trolled him. He did a Jimmy. That's what I'll call it. He did a Jimmy. He just trolling the shit out of him. And then Drew felt the need to be like, I'm gonna put my hands on this son of a bitch because he couldn't control himself. He couldn't keep his eye on the prize, is what he kept telling Drew McIntyre the whole time. What he told Seth Rollins back in January. You're not keeping your eye on the prize. He didn't. He got his hands on Punk. Punk said, get off me, kicked him in the pee-pee. Then Damian Priest does his thing, and that's why Drew lost. Had Drew just went about his business and just ignored Punk like he should have, he would have been champion. And that's why I don't feel bad for Drew McIntyre.
CM Punk is the pettiest man in the entire world. That man flew thousands of miles just on the off chance that there could have been a chance that maybe he might have been able to screw Drew McIntyre. Like, that's the story. That the story literally is. There was no other reason for Punk to be there. Zero reason for Punk to be there. So literally, Punk's motivation was, I flew all the way to Scotland to troll a man in his home.
Love it.
Just to screw with him. Like, look.
I strive to be that petty in life. I really do.
This isn't fair. This is not fair.
It's not fair.
Okay.
Fair.
Let me break it down to you now. Okay, that's not fair. Okay, so if another ref, if he didn't take Jessica Carr's freaking whatever thing
she gave him a spare. She gave him a spare.
That's wrong, man. Okay, another ref could have jumped in and actually counted the 3, is what I'm saying.
But they didn't.
That could have happened, right?
While Punk was doing that, another ref could have done his job, but he didn't. That's not Punk's fault. You can blame Triple H if you want to blame anybody. He could have.
I'm with you, Tidy. I love Punk, and the fact that Punk is so petty, it makes it feud better.
Great revenge, I get it.
Yeah, like it makes it feud better. But like you still, at the end of the day, you still, and that's why this is so good. That's why what WWE is doing, is what Drew McIntyre is doing is so good, is because no matter what, even as a heel, even as this guy who's now going out and attacking Punk and like beating up on your favorite guys, there's also this other part of you that still is like, damn,
he's not entirely
that dude.
Yeah, it's like I don't hate him. Like he
like why would you?
Like he's convinced himself all these things that he's saying are true, and it's like he's not entirely wrong. Like there's truth to what he's saying. Just in Scotland, there was no truth to it. He screwed himself over. And another thing here, had he not stomped on CM Punk's arm after CM Punk already got injured to start this whole fucking thing off, CM Punk wouldn't be a menace to him right now. But the big question here is, who's a bigger troll? Is it CM Punk flying around the world or around the globe? Gotta say it this way. CM Punk flying around the globe to screw Drew McIntyre, or AJ Styles flying across the world. Got to make sure we say this right here because of their beliefs here. I don't want to offend them. For AJ to screw over LA Knight. Who's the bigger troll there?
Punk, because you can say, I mean, AJ Styles, that was his intention. Like, I'm going down there just to screw LA Knight over. Punk doesn't even look like it was like his intention. He was just like, if I get the chance, maybe I will. But being that there might be this much of a chance,
he said, opportunity.
Well, that's how good this shit is, because I'm emotionally involved in Drew. I really like me some CM Punk. Dare say I love CM Punk. But how he's been so Drew's been so good for this last 6 months straight. If not, honestly, it's been more like 9 months since like last October when he started coming out with promos and coming out to the ring.
Yes.
So
and the attitude changed.
And then to see him kick ass in January, February, it's like he's become a lot of people's guy, you know? Like he's the most entertaining, funny ass mother that's out there. Super entertaining, killing all the promos. And then to see CM Punk just be gone for a while and then show up in a damn ref suit, it got me so good. And then, but to see Drew come back and beat his ass on SmackDown got me so good too. I mean, like, I really want to see what happens when they can actually have the fight. Like, I want to see the next promos.
Yeah,
I got to see it. Like, that's how good this shit is. It's for me, it's the number one story going on, and CM Punk's still injured. It's crazy. It's crazy.
This is a testament again to how I was saying how good WWE is right now. Is I said that the Mariah May, Tony Storm, Mina Shikawa thing right now is. If you told me it was the best, I wouldn't argue with you. If you told me the CM Punk Drew McIntyre thing was the best thing going, I wouldn't argue with you.
Yeah,
I'm clearly not going to argue with you. Chad Gable, I'm not going to argue with you. There's so many good, not even good, so many great things happening right now. So I will ask this: what's been your favorite moment of the CM Punk Drew McIntyre thing so far? Tidy, I'll let you think for a minute. Albert, you're on the spot.
I honestly, I think it's been Drew's online trolling of everything that's been going on. I think it just adds like this otherworldly, Drew McIntyre, like jerkness on top of everything that he's been doing. And I think it's just been the best part of the whole thing. I love that. I love, and I love the Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner, portion that they had when Punk was there. And Punk would be in one part of the building, and then Drew would go find him. Then Punk would be somewhere. Like, I love stuff like that. So that's always been, that's been my favorite part. And Amanda, to answer, no, I've had this one for probably like 5 years, but I'm hoping to get something new soon.
Okay. Do you need more time, Tidy? I'll go if you do.
Nope. It's when he said I prayed for this that you'll get injured. As soon as he said that shit in the beginning, like I died. I got my roommate. I was like, "You gotta watch this shit. Let me rewind this on Hulu." And she was dying, laughing, couldn't believe it. Kind of shocked. It's like evil shit the way he said it, but it's like such a And he's been doing that every couple of weeks. It's just been like he says some shit like that where you think he's being nice, then he says something diabolical and just really shoves it. I love it. That was my favorite part of all of it. Still, like that's hard to top, but everything's been gold.
So I want to ask Albert, did you see the tweet that Drew McIntyre had today with the meme that someone had made, where it showed Drew McIntyre's face on CM Punk's body when he did the
yes,
and he goes, I forgot it already, but it was hilarious.
What kind of a menace made this or something like that? Like, yeah.
I'm talking about the meme in general. The meme was amazing. I'm gonna look it up because
it was like, it's something like, so I said screw you and I quit or something like that.
He just used. I don't want you dummy. He just used CM Punk's. It was using CM Punk's words, and now it's like he doesn't have a Twitter anymore. I know he does because I just saw the shit today.
He's unbelievable though with all this. Like,
true. He better not have got rid of his Twitter account.
I like that he went dark from Monday to Friday. Like that was great.
That is every man logo.
It is. Yeah.
I do want to say the shot on SmackDown was amazing too.
Yes,
it was like straight out of a movie. The movie was a comedy. I think it's Tom Hanks that was in it, where the garage door opens and there's just like
the Burbs.
That's what it was. Boom.
Burbs.
Thank you very much.
That movie so many times.
They stole the shot from there, but they use it in a different context here because it's not comedy. It's true. Is like I'm fucking done with this guy.
Yeah.
And then he snatched that bracelet off him. I don't know if y'all know what that bracelet had on it.
I didn't know what
it had Larry and AJ's name on it. So he snatched that shit off CM Punk and took it for himself and said, "Not anymore, Phil."
Shunk.
Yeah. So here he is. He goes, I turned to Fall Vesk. I said, "This place is a fucking joke. You're a clown. I quit." Just like he did the 20. So damn good.
Wait. So who said what?
So
someone else.
CM Punk, when he was on the Ariel Helwani interview, he was talking about when he quit or got fired from AEW. We'll never know the truth there because neither one of them are gonna adhere to the other. But CM Punk, after the scuffle with Jungle Boy, looked to Tony Khan and said, "This place is a fucking joke. You're a clown, and I quit." And then he went out and had the match with Samoa Joe, and then the rest is history. But so they put Drew's face on it. I'll try and. It's brilliant. I'll send it to you, Heidi.
I'll look it up. But Drew posted that?
Yeah, he posted it and said, what did he say? "Which sick freak made this?"
That's there it is. Yeah.
It's so good. But man, Heidi stole mine. I do think my favorite part of this feud has been when Drew McIntyre looked CM Punk dead in the face and said, "I prayed for this to happen," and it did. And I'm like, you are a horrible human being, Drew. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it, bro.
I don't know if you guys are watching.
I loved it.
But he's Homelander. Like, you know, like in those moments, it's like he's Homelander.
Oh, there you go.
But I'm just saying, like, in the idea of like that turn of just, you know, like in the public image, he's, you know, like it's all bright and smiley and shiny, and then on a whim, just in the snap of fingers, he goes back to who he really truly is, and it's like that's what it was. It was like, here's this big smiley guy that I've been, you know, running around as, and I was so grateful for you, CM Punk, you know, and I saw that you got hurt, and you know it was crazy, and I can't believe that I did it, and then I prayed for this to happen, and it's like, damn, dude, you just could not have, dude.
I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. I don't think that's who Drew truly is. He just hates that motherfucker.
Right here, Heel Drew has been awesome. I'll say this right now. I don't care about win-loss records. I don't even know how many matches Drew McIntyre has had. He's the wrestler of the year right now. Nobody's entertaining on a week-to-week basis consistently. Nobody. And he doesn't even take the day off because he was injured at one point. He still powered through it and did his job. And the social media aspect, I'm going to start including that in this kind of stuff because they're incorporating it, and we should be, honestly. We should be incorporating that if it's used to tell part of the story.
And it's being shown on television, too.
Yes, it's been fire. But I will say, when I saw this meme, like a light bulb clicked or turned on, whatever you want to call it. This essentially is kind of like, there's a lot of parallels here to when CM Punk in AEW and the shit that he was going through. Drew McIntyre, though, is CM Punk playing the heel because everyone perceived him to be the heel in that whole scenario. And CM Punk is the good guy because he wants people to think it. And Drew McIntyre's been like, he's not a good guy. He's trying to make y'all think it. And the reality of the storyline, CM Punk is the good guy here. But the I quit part, because he's tired of dealing with the childish antics of somebody, that's why CM Punk wanted to quit AEW. Right? And it all started when something off script happened. How did the CM Punk Hangman Page thing start? Because something off script happened. I'm sure I could go through, and I might do it honestly if I have some time on my hand at work. I might go through and start looking at all these things and trying to like piece every piece of this to see how close it is to that whole saga that happened. I'm not even calling it a storyline because shit just outright happened. I'm gonna go through the whole saga and kind of like pinpoint. Okay, this, that's what they did. Okay. Oh, here's another one. When Drew McIntyre came out to talk shit on CM Punk, and CM Punk was somewhere else. And CM Punk called Hangman Page out, he wasn't there.
Yes.
Then the roles reversed, same shit happened. There's another parallel right there. Is it a little different? Yes. But it's too close to be a coincidence, especially with CM Punk. Because as you said earlier, that man petty AF, and I love him for it. So, we can now move on to another topic here. Tidy, do you have one that you want to talk about? Because Liv and Dom was me. Albert said he wanted to talk about the CM Punk and Drew, which
I just I've been besides Drew and some other people like really Otis is actually loved. I'm loving that. Next point, Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross.
Thank you.
Was doing some shit on Twitter about Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. And he made a whole thing like he's like a psychologist sitting down, calling him a narcissistic psychopath and coming up with evidence of it. Well, he switches Kofi's words. It's like, what if he was really, talking about Xavier and he used the same points that he yelled at Karrion? It's like, well, if he doesn't respect me, how's he going to respect someone else that also hasn't won a singles championship or this or that?
Yeah.
And then right below one of his other tweets, it just shows like him calling them out. Which one of you want to answer me and come to the ring, next week? Kofi cut off Xavier twice. Everybody saw that shit. I mean, it's giving it Karrion that Karrion's been pointing little things out about people, whether it's their selfishness or something. He's trying to find that human nature where people keep messing up. And I am digging it so much. I've loved all of his little videos on Twitter. I love seeing him every time he's up. So Karrion's been my guy. I love Karrion, Drew McIntyre. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
So Karrion Karrion Kross is in a situation where I feel bad for Karrion Kross because what he's doing is great. It is great. And he's a great human being. I will never get tired of saying that and preaching to everybody. He is a great human being. If you ever get the chance to meet him, don't even hesitate. Do it. He is awesome. He's literally one of the nicest guys you're going to meet. But for whatever reason, it's not clicking on like a massive scale. And I don't get it. I really get it.
I think it's going to click by the time he's done with Kofi and Xavier. I think people are going to.
I hope so.
It slowly started, but it's like, why is it taking this long to get there? I don't get it.
So sometimes these characters, these really good, well thought out characters, sometimes just don't end up working out for whatever reason. And I have 3 really good examples. I'm going to be digging really deep into the wrestling bag here. Waylon Mercy. And I don't know if that was more that Waylon Mercy just didn't really catch on, or it's just that Dan Spivey's knees weren't really good enough.
It was ahead of its time. And
it was ahead of its time.
Because Ray did it, and it was amazing.
Right. Sean O'Hare is another one where, this very well thought out, very cerebral sort of a character. And everybody.
He's in a suit?
Yes. The Devil's Advocate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck, that was
great. And then it's a little bit different, but on the same kind of a thing, because on the intellectual thing, Damian Sandow, when he was the intellectual savior of the masses, that caught on for a little bit. But let's think about it. If we think back on Damian Sandow, it's Mizdow. That's what everybody thinks of.
Not me. I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I agree with you, but not me. I love the intellectual savior. I thought it was amazing.
I thought it was the best. His first promo was unreal.
I missed that about that. I did get the Mizdow though, so that sucks. I missed something huge.
I think what happened is the Money in the Bank thing. They cut the legs off from under him, and then that was the end of him. Honestly, there was no back from it, and that's unfortunate.
I mean, and it's kind of doing the same with Corbin, and they're finally rehabbing him now. Thank God.
Yeah. Have you guys ever watched the show I Think You Should Leave?
I have not. No.
You need to watch that first and foremost. It's a little sketch comedy with Tim Robinson. It's brilliant. Damian Sandow is in the 3rd season in a few of the skits. So as Aaron, I think it's Aaron Bledsoe is his name. I'm not sure. It's Aaron something, but that's the credit he gets. But yeah, he's in it. You'll see him. And he's awesome in that too, because he's awesome at everything he does. And he's one of the ones I'm like, why did this not work?
Yeah.
Same with Karrion Kross. I just don't understand why it didn't work.
And that's what I'm hoping that this doesn't go that same way.
No,
we keep saying it's ahead of its time, and it's not. It's now, especially right now, the way Kross is doing it. It's so now. And I love that, like Teddy, you brought up that promo. Even Woods in the back when Kofi accepted, if you just see Woods' face, Woods is like,
oh, yeah, it is. Because it's everything that Kofi's been hinting to him for the last couple of weeks, and maybe Xavier's kind of seeing it.
Right.
But I love it, man, because
so do I.
I'll say this. I think that if I'm gonna come up with a reason as to why I don't think it's clicking like I think it should, is we've been saying it kind of the whole episode here. Everything else is so awesome. Yeah. It makes it really hard for certain things to break through because
stick out.
Again, this past week, I watched 8 hours of wrestling with all the shows I watched. 15 minutes of that show, 15 minutes of the 8 hours I watched, I was like, I don't really care. 7 hours and 45 minutes of wrestling, I thought was just great. That's crazy. So it's really hard for those things to pop out for everyone else, I would think, because of their short attention spans. And they're like, oh, I'm still invested in this, so I can't. It sucks for Karrion. It does, 1,000%. I hope it takes a turn with this New Day thing. And I'll also say I hope that New Day doesn't break up. I'm one of the few that's on that band.
Same.
We always complain that they put people together so they can break them up. We have a team that stayed together through thick and thin, and they want to stay together, and we're all like, break them up. Shut up, everybody. You don't know.
I don't say that they break up, but
no, you don't. You don't.
Xavier's thing of like he did his own tweet, which he reposted it. Karrion Kross reposted and did a video on top of that on his homepage. But it's like I've done this because I thought if I can be the king of the ring someday, that would lead me to bigger doors being open, and they still haven't opened for me yet. But that's what I want. So he wants a singles title. That's what he really wants.
Hush your mouth,
Karrion
Blue.
brings that up. it doesn't mean that they're going to break up. It's just basically him telling Kofi, I'm gonna go do this. I mean, Kofi's getting old too, man. I mean, there may be a time where Kofi may not be wrestling anymore in the next, but he's kind of immortal too. He might have another 5 years.
Allow me, quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Allow me to be Jimmy for one split second, because usually I don't like to, fantasy book in my mind. But if I can do anything with this, it's that there's seeds of dissension, set between Kofi and Woods. There's a point where it looks like Woods might even pull the trigger, and he doesn't. And they stay together, and everything's all good. And not only that, they win the tag titles.
No.
Hear me out. They win the tag titles. New Day's stronger than ever, and they lose the tag titles maybe right around WrestleMania season, right before they're going to split the brands again. And they lose the tag titles right around then. They're like, you know what? It's okay. We're going to win them back, and they get split in the draft. And now they're broken up. And they're not really separated. They're still the New Day. They're still a team, but they're on two separate brands. Now Woods gets to go off and have that singles run, and no one can take it away from him because there isn't a Big E or a Kofi Kingston to team up with on that same brand. And Kofi's a single star again on his brand, trying to maybe recapture what we had with Kofi Mania.
Okay, so I'll say this, and we'll go on to another subject. We got to start knocking a few of them out because I don't want to.
Yeah, I know. There's so much.
So the only reason I don't like the draft aspect is because when they did it with Big E, it just felt stupid. Because then the New Day got picked the very next pick, and it's like, why wouldn't you just take them all together and then just kind of book Big E as a single star? You could have kept them together. You got 3 for 1 pick, and then just booked them. Right. It didn't make sense.
I that with this though, at least it's kind of one of those things where the general manager can straight up just be like, well, if your buddy's here, I couldn't have pushed you as a single star because inevitably someone's going to mess with you. Your friend's going to come to try to even the odds, and it's going to be really hard for me. Or maybe Woods even says, hey, you know what? I said they can split us in the draft, so I have the chance to go off and break off on my own.
If I was going to do it, because again, I'm not against if it's going to give Xavier Woods a push. I don't want them to turn on each other. That's my thing. I don't want them to turn.
Yeah, exactly. Same here.
Overplayed, and they've proven time and time again that they don't need to do it. If I'm going to do it though, I would have Karrion Kross beat them, and the stipulation is if I beat you, y'all are done as a team, and that's how you split them up, out splitting them up. But if I'm not, man, there's so many ways this could go, and I like a few of them. And if you are going to split them up through all this, I hope it's Kofi that goes with Karrion and not Xavier. It's like saying Xavier plays a really good babyface, and Kofi, you said it yourself, Tidy, he's getting up there in age. It helps him kind of not put himself out there to get injured as often. Because he has been.
Kofi talks shit and how Karrion called out all his bullshit, calling him a narcissist and all that, there's no way Kofi would join him. They got to be the super twist. I don't think Xavier will even join him. It's not going to happen.
Karrion likes his aggressiveness.
Convince him to go on his own.
Karrion liked his aggressiveness, and that's why they were willing to take him in. You're the one that stepped up. You're the one that came to. You're the one that wanted this. So maybe I was wrong, and Xavier wasn't the guy I thought he was, and you were the one that I wanted. That's how you spin it. I think it would work.
It's true.
But at the end of the day, I don't want New Day splitting up. They're a tag team, they're a great tag team, and they help get other tag teams to the next level. Pretty deadly. Yes, boys. Perfect example. Too bad Nick Aldis is an idiot.
No. You know who was against that? Booker T was against that. So what the hell are they doing down in NXT?
He says shucky ducky quack quack. He don't know what the hell he's talking about.
I thought the same thing. They were taking opportunities from other people. We didn't need them to get them over. Did it work? Yeah, it did. But anyways, I don't know, man. I'm done with them winning championships. We already know they're the greatest tag team of all time.
I don't need to win a championship. I don't need to win a championship. If they do, I'm not going to be mad because, again, they're still really good.
Look, here's my thing. I'm not saying anything negative about the Awesome Truth, but I'd rather have the New Day as my tag champions right now than the Awesome Truth.
That's
bigger
fine.
Better story is Xavier going for a singles title. That's all I know.
No, look. Believe me, that's what I really want, but I think it's just going to be very hard to do that with them on the same brand.
But at the same time, Big E did it. Kofi did it.
Sure.
They've shown that they can. that's why it's so hard to like book this thing. And again, that's great because it's kind of unpredictable a little bit because they've shown that like, hey, all these things that usually break people up, we've gone through it all and we've come out the other end still boys. So Lou, knock it off, man. You a hater. He probably ain't gonna come around New Day. He don't like him. But
what was
so
that?
we'll go.
Sorry, we got lost on that one.
Yeah. So we'll do the Joe Hendry NXT thing real quick. I hate that we did the yearly predictions, and I was the one that was like, I could see WWE working with TNA, and then when I asked, I was like, no, it's not going to happen because it's happening. It's happening. Jordan Grace, Roxanne, Tidy brought it up in the chat. He loved it. It was a good match.
So good.
I didn't like the ending, but that's nitpicking, and I refuse to nitpicking. There's no reason to do it. There's no reason to do it. It was a good
I'm okay.
That's all.
I get the idea is that it doesn't pin their champion clean.
Yes.
Cool. Cool.
It went with the current storyline going on because Ash by Elegance was feuding with Jordan. So none of it was like forced. It wasn't like they just put her out there because, it's Dana Brooke, she'll get a pop. No, it made sense with what was going on in their show and then all that. So I was cool with it. It just, I don't know. I feel like it should have took more to take out Jordan Grace. She's a beast. She's a beast. But
I thought Jordan was going to win.
Yeah,
and the fact that Roxy's wrestling that whole match was freaking amazing. That was her best match I've ever seen. And then right now she's beefing with Lola Vice, who technically beat Shayna, which was also really fun to watch. But Shayna was still moving as they were like saying, hey, that's it. Yeah. He's calling it off. So Shayna's safe face. Now Lola's a badass, but Roxanne just she ain't having any of Lola's bullshit. I don't know. Roxanne just exploded for me. So I'm very proud of Roxanne.
The attitude change has done wonders for her.
And it wouldn't have worked if she didn't beat Jordan.
Yeah.
She had to beat her.
Joe Hendry in NXT. Do you believe in Joe Hendry?
I believe in Joe Hendry.
I don't know the guy. I've only seen and just from that video, I believe in Joe Hendry. So I want to see what he can do.
It's so catchy.
He's got me hyped.
I'll tell you what, Tidy. There's 2 videos I want you to go look up. Joe Hendry did a music video on Drew McIntyre. It's a parody of Blue. It's called Drew. And then he did one of Matt Cardona. Go watch those. I'll give him credit. Those things are hilarious. And I don't even hate the guy. I just don't. I think the hype is too much for him at this point. I think he's going to drown in the hype. Prove me wrong, though, Joe.
NXT commentators was the first thing they said. There's like, the hype has become so real. He's here in NXT and got thrown out like in 5 seconds.
Lou, get out of here, bro. You want to break up New Day, but you believe in Joe Hendry.
Dude showed up in NXT. Jordan Grace is there. I love it.
Frankie Kazarian showed up for a one-off. AJ Styles is going to TNA. I did say
what it sounds like.
That was the biggest thing that I thought could happen because I think an AJ Styles Josh Alexander match at Slammiversary would be beautiful.
I hope they like send Natty there too and just have her like wrestle everybody in TNA. And that's not me being like one of those people that doesn't like Natty and be like, oh, get her out. No. Natty literally wants to wrestle every wrestler in the entire world. Let her go do it. Like, hey, you want to go wrestle everybody in TNA? Go ahead. Have fun. Knock yourself out, you know? I don't know. She's getting close to the end of her career. Let her just have fun.
I don't know if she resigned, but I wouldn't be – because I thought they would do this with Seth Rollins. I was wrong about it. But just say, hey, go out and have some fun for a few months. Your job is safe here. Go do what it is, the things you want to go do that you can't do while you work here. And then when you're done, you get it out of your system and you're satisfied. Come back. We got a job for you. I feel like that's a perfect thing to do with Natty.
I love that.
I don't know if she's resigned though.
She was talking to Sonya Deville in the back. Besides Sonya Deville talking to Shayna and Zoe, I saw her sitting down talking to Sonya. Man, if Sonya could be your manager, that would be awesome because Natty can go.
So we'll move over to the biggest story that happened on SmackDown. The Bloodline has officially returned to, I'm going to say it, full strength, even without Roman Reigns. Because I don't know, I'm sure, I think you've seen a few things about Jacob Fatu, Albert, yeah?
Have I ever?
I don't know if you have, Tidy, but that man is a big effing problem. He is scary. Like, scary.
He
This is
does
what Karrion
things
Kross said.
impossible.
Karrion Kross tweeted that he wrestled them for 10 years and SmackDown's in deep effing shit, is what he said.
In 5 minutes, that man completely outshined what Solo and the Tongas have been doing for the past month or two. And that dude could be WWE champion before the year's up. Not 2024, but like before his first calendar year's up, he could be a WWE champion. And I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't dare complain. I would be too fearful he's going to show up at my house and murder me. Yeah, he's so good. So with that, now that we have a 4-man bloodline again, when do we see Roman Reigns returning?
So, I mean, look, it's got to be soon, right? Because, I mean, here's the thing. Solo said on SmackDown, Roman's not coming back.
Yeah.
So to me, that's a big tease of saying, you want to evoke my name. Right? Well, yeah, of course. That's
coming back.
You evoke my name. Well, now I'm going to come and answer you. There's so much to break down about this. It's not even funny. This is people sit there and they're talking about all the time. Oh, I don't think Solo's doing as good of a job as Roman. Solo doesn't seem like the head of the table. Solo, he's not supposed to. That's the idea. It's an imposter
ready for the spot.
Right. It's an imposter wearing the crown. Right. He's not supposed to be there. He's doing it by force and intimidation instead of earning the respect that Roman took to level up to get to the head of the table, to earn it, to be anointed the head of the table by the high chiefs of the Samoan dynasty. Like, that's what happened. He beat Jimmy. What was it? It was Jey Uso, and they gave him the lays. They anointed him. You are the head of the table now. We had this whole ordeal with The Rock coming back, saying, "Hey, okay, Roman's head of the table, but I'm the final boss."
Yeah.
And now they're both gone. And Solo's like, "Okay, I can build my army, and I can rule by fear, and I can keep Paul Heyman close to me, so I can make sure that he doesn't screw anything up, and I'll make sure that I rule with an iron fist." And now he brings in these two guys and there's so much to break down with. Okay, you have the father of Jacob Fatu was tag team partners with Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa's father.
Yeah.
So it's like all of this just morphs into this whole like family wrestling history dynamic to put this group together that eventually is going to get so out of hand that Roman has to turn to Jimmy and Jay and Sami Zayn to kill the creation that he made because it's getting out of hand with Solo, in charge. And I, for one, cannot wait to see this happen. I'm hoping it's going to be War Games, but I hope it's War Games 2025. Don't give it to me now. Drag this thing out.
No,
Let it go longer.
I want it now.
No way. We're in inning in this story. We're in inning 3 right now if we're lucky.
I think we're in 4 at this point, but I mean, there's still 5 more needs to go. So Lou brought up a good point because unfortunately I did see this rumor that they're going after Hikuleo, another of the Tonga brothers. I don't know where he fits in though, because you just brought up the Roman, and it's the same theory I had: Roman, Jay, Jimmy, and Sami Zayn, because that's when Bloodline was at its strongest. Like, the Bloodline has never been better than when it was those 4. So Roman has to eat crow and go recruit Jay, and then he has to recruit Sami Zayn as well, because Jimmy and Jay are in his ear like, we got to do that. And he's like, I just don't think it's going to happen. And then when Roman and Sami hug, get it.
Gonna explode.
The tears are flying. Like they're I'm crying my eyeballs. It's going to be an amazing moment. But if you have
Courtney, I'm with you. Drag it out.
You have 4 now, and then you have 4 there. So if Hikuleo comes in, and I think I saw it was going to be like Talalonga or something like that.
Talatanga, yeah.
Talatanga, there you go.
Yeah.
If he's a 5th member, and then The Rock is supposed to be on that side as well, then it's like, how do we do a War Games that way? I don't know how you would do it. But I do want to see a War Games this year, and I'll tell you why, because that's where I'd have Rock eventually return. And that's how, and then he reveals himself to be the tribal chief that's been running the show the whole time, and Solo has just been the puppet.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, maybe Solo then gets the boot. and he goes over to the Bloodline, and then you have your 5-on-5.
Right. Can't get the job done. We kick him out. I'll keep my savages. You can take the scraps.
Solo looks at it as like, wait a second. I thought I was the tribal chief. I thought I was and then Rock's
Roman told me that was it. Roman said when he's done, it's me. So
and then Rock's like, know your role, shut your mouth, and get the hell on out of here before I shove it right up your ass sideways and all that other good stuff that he's gonna say. He is doing his own thing, but the Chad Gable story with Sami Zayn, I think, is done. And we're going to get into that next because I do want to talk on that because it's Chad Gable, and we've been praising Chad Gable for a while. We'll make it quick, though. I promise you.
Right. But the whole thing with Sami is that, look, we're in, it's June. Next month is July. We got August, September, October, and if they're going to do it this year in this November, they said, let's just say we do it in the Bloodline implosion at War Games. By that point, Sami might not even be Intercontinental Champion by that point.
He won't be.
There's a chance.
Breaker will be.
That's or Sheamus at this point. I think you're right. I think you're right, but I also think that this is the chance where everybody thinks it's going to be Braun, and they've been doing this a lot. Look at the Money in the Bank qualifiers. It's like, oh, well, obviously it's going to be Bianca. No, it's Chelsea Green, which was amazing.
If you thought Chelsea Green was going to beat Bianca Belair and Mia Yim, whatever, if you didn't think Chelsea Green was winning, leave. It was happening. There was no way it wasn't going to happen. Chelsea Green will not be deprived of what is rightfully hers, and that is the Money in the Bank briefcase. But while we're on the talk of Money in the Bank, I'm going to say this right now. I think Roman returns at Money in the Bank. It all depends on the match that Cody and the Bloodline have, though. So I have to see what happens there. But right now, it's 4-on-3. I think maybe Jimmy gets involved here and weasels his way into them because he's like, no, I'm not that guy anymore. I'm with y'all. Y'all are outnumbered. Let me help. And that's how Roman gets reintroduced as well through that way. And I think it happens in Money in the Bank because you want to have him do it with those international crowds. They're amazing. And Toronto, an amazing crowd.
Can I say why that I can give credit to that is because like with Roman said at the Hall of Fame speech, there is no wise man, there is no Roman Reigns. The fact that Solo's about to either boot or kill this man, and he just told CM Punk to take me with you, and then Solo said, we're going to talk about that shit next. Before you go with CM Punk, go tell them this, and we're going to talk when you get back. Roman's not going to like that, so Roman's got to come save Paul Heyman's hide soon. It's got to happen, so I think that's a good time.
Yeah. If it's not at Money in the Bank,
cheering too hard.
I think there's a pay-per-view between Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. I'm not 100% sure. There isn't?
I don't think so.
I'm going to have to look this up real quick.
I hope not.
I don't think so. I think it's Money in the Bank is July and SummerSlam's August. Yeah.
I think they pushed it to September.
No.
What, SummerSlam?
For SummerSlam, I think that happened. I'm probably wrong. I don't know. I'm looking it up right now, though. We got.
That means there's another pay-per-view then.
Nope. Money in the Bank is July 6th, and then SummerSlam is August 3rd. I was thinking Bash in Berlin because that's at the end of August.
There you go.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. So yeah, Roman has to return Money in the Bank then if he's going to be at SummerSlam. He has to. So that's what I'm gonna say right there. ExtremelyCredible.com. I'm really putting my neck out on this one, guys. Roman, if you don't show up, I'm driving over to Pensacola and whooping your butt.
Yeah, this would be the first big loss for TrulyIncredible.com.
Yeah, that would be. That's a blow. Chelsea Green won Money in the Bank, so now we all know she's winning the briefcase. Correct? She qualified. She's winning the briefcase. Yes.
I have never been. So I didn't know what the results were for SmackDown. I watched it a day later. I've never been more happy in a long time. Like I was literally like pumping my fist in the air when Chelsea won. I was so excited. It was great. It was so great.
And the crowd was with it too.
Yeah.
Beautiful thing.
I never bet against Chelsea. So if she's going to Money in the Bank, I'm betting on her to win. It's like I don't want to bet against Becky. I don't want to bet against Bayley unless it's Piper in Scotland. God, I wanted to see Piper win so bad.
Piper in Portland. Hold on, I'm looking up one thing here. Tidbit. Maybe Roman doesn't show up at Money in the Bank. I forgot all about this. Where's next week's SmackDown at?
MSJ.
Madison Square Garden is notorious for having those shows where you're like, how do you top last week's show? You get the return of Roman Reigns. Money in the Bank's probably more realistic, but I wouldn't put it past them to do it next week.
Okay, cool.
Chelsea Green, she's from Canada, and since Money in the Bank's in Canada, the pop she's going to get when she wins that is going to even be better because, straight up, top woman in the industry right now. I don't care. Keep your work rate shit to yourself. I don't really give a shit. Your 5-star matches, shove them up your Rudy Poop candy butt. Chelsea Green, entertaining female in wrestling today.
And if you can find any woman on the planet that sells as good as Chelsea Green, be my guest. That woman looks like she gets murdered on everything that she gets hit with. It looks like she's gotten murdered. Like, I love her.
Oh, your sales. Okay, I got you.
Dakota Kai sells. Dakota Kai.
Rhea Ripley's an amazing seller. Rhea Ripley's an amazing seller.
Oh, she is. Yeah. There's a lot of them, but
Green's great. Chelsea Green is great.
Chelsea's so good.
Yeah, she's winning Money Bank. And now, last but not least, we have to talk about Chad Gable because, again, we all love Chad Gable, and we were all very, very, very sad when he didn't win the Intercontinental title from Gunther because, man, I think it should have happened. But
it was even worse when he got murdered last week.
So the question for Chad Gable. Well, no, hold on a second. I see everyone saying this shit that he got shot in the head. No, he didn't.
No, of course not.
Why is everyone saying that? Are they just making a joke?
Yes, I think
there's way too many people saying it for me to think it's a joke.
The blood stain on the side of his head, it looked like, that looked like in a movie, he'd be laying there. Right. Obviously, it's like, okay, he got hit with something. Okay, we get it. But I think it was just, yeah, of course. And that's what I think too. But I think it was just very funny that they took it and ran with it. And then Chad even went with the, rising from the grave, yeah.
I dig it.
I think it's great. I think it's funny. I thought it was really good. But let's dig into it.
Real quick, we'll go around. I want to know what you think's next for Chad Gable. Albert, again, I'm putting you on the spot again. You can go first here.
I mean, he got attacked by the Wyatt Six. So at this point, I think that he's going to be tormented, by them because of his treatment of Otis and Tozawa and Maxine. It looks to me like they walked out on him, but I think that we've seen him in the back talking to the Creeds and Ivy Nile. And I think that eventually he's going to have he'll win the war against his old academy, but he'll win the battle there, but he's going to lose the war against the Wyatt Six, and that's where I think Chad's going.
Okay, Ty, do you have anything?
Not really. I just want Chad to be a singles champion eventually. That's all I really want.
Yeah,
I don't care if he's a bad guy or the biggest asshole in the world and he treats Otis and everybody wrong. I don't care. He's been doing a great job at being an ass. And he is. And he's done such a good job that now Otis is cheered ridiculously. People love Otis. Now they love him even more. Otis is like the new Sami Zayn almost.
I want to say this about Otis. This is the second time Otis has caught this kind of fire with the crowd. Mm-hmm. Everyone always looks for that next underdog guy to have the world championship crowning moment at WrestleMania and all that. Stop looking at people that are small and start looking at things like Otis. Because I'll tell you right now, I could make Otis go on one of those runs where everyone was like, because you're already halfway there. They're already behind them. Now you just have to make them believable. And that's easy. Because he's a big guy and he's fun and he's entertaining. But Chad Gable, I have two theories here. One, I don't think any of that shit happened on Monday Night Raw because we went through the portal, and I think that was a thing. That's something that could be. That's what they're trying to say is going to happen now that they are here.
The cameraman didn't go through the portal; he went around.
But the vision was through the portal. That's why
the vision I'll give you. Okay.
So if it's not, that's fine. That's cool. I have a hard time thinking these guys are the baby faces. And since Chad Gable is the guy they're going after, allegedly, it's like, how does that work? Theory is the thing on the head. Let's just say there was a hole in his head. It's the Wyatt Sixth. Who's the sixth member?
Bray.
The spirit of Bray.
Right.
So since this is spooky shit, there really are no rules. And I think it's probably crazy. I don't care. I'm just speaking things that pop in my head. Chad Gable, because they like to pull the rug out from under from time to time. What if there's the hole in the head, but it wasn't freaking bullet, because that's silly. This isn't TNA, everybody.
Obviously, you're right.
Maybe he got pecked, and then they did some kind of crazy. I've seen enough horror movies here. They did something to Chad Gable, and that's how the spirit of Bray will now be presented as the sixth member of the Wyatt Six through Chad Gable. Again, I don't really necessarily think it would work. I don't think Wyatt Six is going to work in general, but
we'll see.
I think with spooky shit, you kind of have to eliminate rules. That anything is possible, and that's the only thing I can think of that makes sense as to why Chad Gable is even involved in any of it. I don't know.
Most people just think that it's because that he's getting this comeuppance because they don't like the way.
Yeah. So we're cheering these guys, though. We're cheering these guys who just went and murdered everybody. Like,
they didn't murder them. They just beat the living crap out of them, and bludgeoned them to the point of, unconsciousness. They didn't kill them. I love the rules of pro wrestling.
Here's the thing. They did, because Gunther was involved in that, which is kind of shocking, because I don't feel like Gunther has ever been involved in anything that wasn't straight wrestling. At least in WWE hasn't.
Gunther was?
Huh? Gunther was one of the people that was taken out.
No, it wasn't.
I did not see that either.
I'll send you the picture. Fuck. And Braun Strowman was involved in that. And Braun Strowman,
They're saying that it wasn't either of them. That it was just, like Courtney said, it was just locals. The only main roster talent was Gable.
I'm going to watch it again, but I'm going to send you the picture.
No, I've seen. There's one that really looks like Braun, but Braun's even said he was out of the building when it happened.
Right. Braun wasn't, but Gunther was.
And I thought the same thing, but
it falls into the Chad Gable thing because he was treating Vinci terribly.
I mean, that could, if that's the case, that could make sense. But was Gunther on Raw at all this week? No. I don't even know if he was even there. That's what I'm saying.
Kaiser got murdered by Braun Breaker. That's why.
That happened. Yeah, he didn't need to. Yeah, Braun Breaker broke him in half. That, by the way, just really briefly, the production value on the Wyatt Six entrance, the production value on that overhead shot with Kaiser, and I mean, look, I wasn't one of those people that was so mad about the camera cuts with Kevin Dunn. I didn't care that much. It never really bothered me. But this new single camera following people and going on and like this steady cam, this is amazing. I love the way they're coming out of breaks. I love the way that they're doing flash.
They're going into breaks.
Yes, same thing with like these, like the setup with like the certain characters and who they're doing it. I like the replays going into their commercial breaks. Yep. Everything that they're doing production-wise is a million times better than what they did before. They're killing it on all levels. Like that's the big thing about WWE. They're killing it on every single level.
Okay, and now the Braun Breaker thing. I do want to say, like, I thought Braun Breaker was going to be good. And I thought there was a possibility he could get to be one of the top guys. I wasn't one of the few that was like, he's going to be the man day one, or the ones that were saying like, nah, he's overrated. But I'll say this right now. In the few weeks he's been doing this, I'm convinced he's in the same boat as Jacob Fatu right now. He could be champion by this time next year, and I wouldn't even bat an eye at it. I believe it. The timing on that Kaiser spear was beautiful. Because we see things like that all the time where, the timing, if it's off by a second, it's screwed up. They'll still go ahead with it, and it's still kind of okay. But that one worked beautifully because Kaiser turned that corner just as Braun was turning that corner. And by the time Kaiser would have noticed what was going on, that's when he legit was like, oh, fuck. And he stopped, and then Braun just murdered him. It was beautiful.
Straight through him, yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited to see Braun Breaker again. He's one of my top 3 favorite things on Raw. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I tell you, like you watched Braun the whole time through NXT. You had to have known that this was going to be like he was going to be a big deal when he came up, right?
This is what I thought of Braun. Braun was amazing when he first came out, and then he won the championship. He got stale. I'm forgetting who was kind of making fun of him as they were going fishing because Braun had like kind of no personality. And then here comes
Apollo Crews.
Yeah, and then Baron Corbin comes out and revitalizes something in Braun where he has, because first Braun went bad guy right before that,
Yeah, he
And a lot of
turned
people
on
were buying
Trick
it
and
with-
Carmelo.
We were buying it with Carmelo, and it was good. There was still a tad of something missing. And then comes Baron Corbin, kind of makes him like a feel-good guy with some jokes, but there's chemistry there. And it's not like you're watching a dead fly in the web. It's good shit.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it's really good. And the more you watch it, the more you start loving it.
Yeah.
And now that he comes here, I thought it'd be a little bit goofy. No, he is badass times 3. What he should have been with Melo and them. And it's fucking fantastic. His facials, his expressions.
I did see signs of it with the Melo Trick feud, because I thought when they turned him heel, I was like, oh, about damn time. And I saw signs of him being just like a complete menace, because there was times where they had to kick him out of the back. I was still kind of following NXT at this point. The thing with Baron just allowed him to show like another side of himself, to say, hey, you give me anything, I'm gonna give you something in return. And I feel like he hasn't missed.
I feel like that taught him how to be comfortable with whatever character he is by really laying into it. So now that he's back to being a bad guy, he's fully laid into it. Yeah. I think Baron showed him that.
It's not his dad that he reminds me of. He reminds me of his uncle. And I'm talking about Big Papa Pump.
Like, he's both fused into one.
Yeah. He has the look of Rick, but the intensity and just scariness of Scott.
Well, you got to remember how intense Rick was prior to, he was.
He was. I'm not clowning on Rick. They're one of the greatest tag teams of all time. But from a singles aspect is how I'm looking at it. And I think Braun is doing everything Big Papa Pump was doing.
He sounds so much like Scott, too. It's crazy.
I'm so glad they didn't go with the Steiner name. He's made a name on his own.
Yep.
Good on him.
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker is awesome. I
he
look
will
forward to
break your ass.
And yes,
Love
he is going to murder Kaiser tomorrow.
Yeah.
Poor Kaiser.
But with that, that's the show. This is about the normal time we used to do it. So I feel like we got a lot in on that 90 minutes right there. So
yeah, we did.
We leave. Let them know what they need to know, Alberts.
All right. So I haven't uploaded it to the Slam Sessions in a little bit, but I will be coming back. I got a couple more videos to upload to, for the toy room. But the big deal is if you are in the New York area, if you're anywhere near Staten Island, I have 3 shows this weekend. If you're upstate, anywhere near upstate, I have 3 shows upstate at the end of July and 1 back on the island. I'm directing my first ever show. The Pink Panther Strikes Back in the middle of August. So come on down and see me.
Go check it out. Support the man. He's been awesome. I'm happy for him because this is like he loves wrestling. He loves wrestling toys, and he loves this theater. And go support that shit for him. That's awesome if you can. Obviously,
yeah.
Don't fly from California to go watch it. I'm not encouraging you to. If you can, you want to have at it. I'm not telling you.
Follow me on Twitter. Retweet this week. I have a new trailer for the new movie that we have coming out too. So retweet that. That'll make me just as happy.
Yes. Tidy, anything you want to say before we say our goodbyes?
Well, it's still June, so in my opinion, I've seen a lot of friends and family who say because they're gay, say because they're lesbian, their family just completely cuts them off, whether it's a religious thing or it's just the way they were brought up or they're homophobic, whatever. And it's like damaged people that I've known to have your whole family basically cut you off. It's crazy. It's June, still Pride Month. And there's a lot of people. They're just people, everybody. Everybody has a family. Some people lose their family just because of that same fact. But I've got a lot of LGBTQ friends. And if anybody thinks, oh, they're just confused. No, they're just people like you.
There's
nothing wrong with them. It's their month. I'm going to go celebrate it on Saturday. It's going to be a great drag show. But yeah, love is love. People are people.
To add on to that, like I said, if you think they're the confused ones, it's you that's confused because they just want to live their life just like you want to live your life.
Your life.
And as my son always says, treat others as you want to be treated. Like that, we've been taught this since we were this tall. like why forget it? Why it's silly. It's nonsense. Treat everybody with respect. And if you don't have to like it, just treat them with respect anyway. Keep it to yourself. Like it's that easy. They had to keep it to themselves for decades, or like just leave it be. Yeah. Boom. Thank you very much. And I will just say, hey, thank you guys for being here. Lou says, I hope this isn't the last one. Glad you guys we're like I said, we've been trying to make one work. It just timing wasn't working. So when timing's gonna work out, I'll gladly do it again. Because as of right now, there's plenty to talk about.
Yes,
there is.
Yeah,
this is fun.
It is. It's always a blast whenever we do this. And Nyack, New York, Courtney. That's where that's upstate.
There you go. And I'll say this. Mentally, I was kind of going to a certain place with this wrestling, and it had a lot to do with just the fandom. Unfortunately, after like years, and it kind of did start to get to me. So I recently made the decision cut 95% of the things I was seeing out, and I don't think I would have enjoyed last week as much had I not put myself ahead of what I like. I don't know. It's just weird. Like when someone follows me, I feel like I need to follow them back. When someone's friendly with me, I feel like I need to be friendly with them back. But then some of those people are only friendly for a little bit, and then all of a sudden things start to turn, and you feel like you have to stick. Don't. If you feel like anybody is sour in your mood, cut ties immediately. I promise you'll be better off for it. Don't let it take you somewhere you don't need to go. I feel like we've all dealt with that to an extent, just a little bit. And we want to watch wrestling because we love it and enjoy it and want to have fun with it. So that's where I'm at with it. And that's why I don't even feel like I brought up the fandom shit that's been going on online because I just don't see it anymore. I just don't. And that's been awesome.
We're waiting all for it.
It's awesome. That's been the premise of the AEW Dynamite review show that I do with Nick on Thursdays. Is I literally am not watching it as an analyst because I'm not. I'm a fan. I'm reviewing it as a fan, and I'm telling you what I think works. I'm not sitting there going to break down the whole show as like, this should go here, and this should go here, and this ending should. No. Did I like it? Yes. Did I not? No. That's it. That's literally all we need to be worrying about. And that's where I'm at with it. So, at one point, we all were that kind of fan. At one point, we all were. Go back to it. I promise you. It'll make things so much better, not for yourself, but for everyone else. But yeah, I've just plugged the show as well. Watch it on Thursdays. I'm with Nick. And if you don't know Nick, let me get it up for you. He's right there. He's our best bud. He's the fourth unofficial member of the podcast. And you can also find him over at Wrestling Legion.
He's our fourth horseman.
Yes. And then he also does Take Over the Table, where they go and review takeovers on Sundays. Earlier today, like I think 2. If you're on the same time as me, Central Time, it's 2 in the afternoon. And that's awesome because takeovers were awesome. And he does that with the boys over from Raw Ball. As always, go watch Slam Sessions. I've been plugging this at the end of every show just for you too, just so you know. I'm supporting.
I appreciate you.
But that's AEW Dynamite Boomer Bust on Thursdays. Hey everybody, just enjoy wrestling. That's why we're here. And in my opinion, it's never been better than what it is right now as a grand whole. Like I watched 8 hours last week, and I'm like, man, I kind of want to watch more. What can I watch to feed this hunger that I have right now for it? So yeah, go and just enjoy wrestling. Sorry, I slipped up there. I rambled, sorry, but now it's time to say goodbyes. This has been awesome. This has been fun. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to do it again. See you later, everybody. Deuces and toodles.